August 21st, 2014, a YouTuber by the name of Along Came Josh uploaded a video onto YouTube titled Who's Null 1, during a time where Minecraft was still in its early versions and a niche community, in which Along Came Josh is seen playing Minecraft with none other than Spider-Man. Yeah, no, I'm not joking, Minecraft YouTube was a weird time back then. Anyways, he goes into his house, but in the background, a strange figure is shown. No details, just a fully blacked out skin, that of which is reminiscent of a shadow. However, Along Came Josh doesn't see this figure until this video was uploaded. However, the community was quick to notice. And this is the story of Null, the myth that was actually real. The earliest known story of Null was created by Along Came Josh and uploaded in August of 2014. While Herobrine was depicted as a hostile ghost, Null was something much darker, described as a blank player model, completely black with no face, no eyes, no features. And the name itself, Null, is taken straight from programming, meaning nothing or no value, implying that this entity shouldn't exist, or was something that wasn't supposed to. And not only did this entity actually exist in Minecraft, but it was actually a real occurrence. But before we get into that, this is what Josh had to say about Null from his own accord.
He seems to put down signs saying Null. Also, he has no skin at all. No Minecraft skin, it's completely blank. So he keeps appearing in my videos every now and then. I've had at least 2 times I've been recording and he's appeared. Similarly to Herobrine crashed the game. Unless it's coal, I'll probably mine coal every now and then. I need to make more torches and stuff because it's so freaking dark. And then over here as well is another one. Null. Oh my god!
And although these videos were obviously fake, little did Josh know that this myth that he made up was more real than he'd ever imagined, with Josh and the community soon to figure that out. Soon following Along Came Josh's video, the community was quick to go mainstream with this, but not only because of the fact that it was a fake series, but because it was something different, something that other people said happened to them too. But how could this be? This was obviously a fake hoax created by Josh to get more views, and yet by the day, more and more evidence of Null's existence was popping up all over YouTube like wildfire, and people were quick to come up with strange theories. I bet it's Herobrine in disguise. It's gonna be Mojang playing pranks. The game is actually haunted. I heard it's a hacker. I think we should all subscribe to Atzo. One of the more popular one of these videos was uploaded by Cop4 Terminator, in which he's playing Minecraft with his friend, Zombie Killer 666, where they're both seen in the caves, mining and digging around, working on gathering resources for their survival world. I saw something in the dark, said Zombie Killer, stopping Cop4 Terminator in his tracks. What? They discussed this briefly, and Zombie claims that what he witnessed was a player with no skin, no eyes, no details. It was Null. It had to be. There was no one else online on the server, and they eventually brush it off as a mob. However, upon leaving the mines, they're met with a sign at the top of their mine shaft that said nothing but Null 16 times, and in the background of the video, there he was again, standing in the background watching from the distance. What was this? Who was this? This wasn't Minecraft, this wasn't a normal mob, this was a glitch. It didn't make sense. A player by the name of Jackson decides to take an approach to end this Null mystery once and for all, who firmly believes that everything about Null is fake. So he sets out on a hunt in which the entire community is a part of. And he sets out to actively hunt Null and debunk the myth on film. At first, Jackson is skeptical and claims that all previous Null videos are hoax. He even attempts a summoning ritual, which surprisingly just does not work. He then decides to simply play Minecraft and record everything, hoping to capture Null, and over days he records hundreds of hours and gigabytes of gameplay footage with no results. Growing more confident in the fact that Null is fake, he continues with his day, and just when he's about to give up on this hunt, he spots it. A black skin, with no details, watching him from the distance. Null was in his world. However, just as he attempts to record this, it vanishes. But Jackson wasn't about to give up. Shocked and confused about what he just saw, this was more fuel to the fire. He had to keep going. Meanwhile, however, word about Null is constantly spreading throughout the community. Videos, articles, forums, everyone is invested. And of course, Along Came Josh made more videos on this ordeal. However, one question remained. Where did Null come from, and how did Josh find out about Null? Because it's not like he made it up or anything, because the truth is, he didn't. Null was always there. From the beginning, in every world, behind every mob and block lied traces of Null. And the truth is that Null wasn't created by anyone, because it was in the game. Jackson tries workarounds like filming his screen with a phone and even using an old VHS camcorder pointed at the monitor. These creative methods finally work, however, and in a chilling scene, Jackson falls asleep. Null appears closer and closer to the camera. Suddenly, a loud noise is produced out of Jackson's computer, who panics and the game crashes. This encounter was played out on a video and uploaded to YouTube, giving viewers a scare, further sparking more fire to the hunt. With the objective now not being about whether or not Null is fake or real, but about what it is or who is it. Jackson is left with two choices: continue pursuing Null or stop before things get worse. Before we go any further, you're probably confused about what I mean by this entity was real, because sure, there were a lot of testimonies about the authenticity of Null and whether or not a blank figure could have been possible to actually haunt people's worlds and create signs saying no, even going as far as killing people and destroying bases. Well, the truth is a lot more complicated than that, because while a lot of Null has been proven to be true, it's still up to speculation as to what exactly it is. A lot of people claim that Null messed with the worlds because when they'd load back into the worlds, it appeared as though chunks had just been removed from reality, with signs appearing around them that said no, 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 16 times. But that, however, unlike everything else, can simply be explained by a chunk generation glitch by swapping versions. However, the Null signs were real. And not only that, but you could actually be killed by Null in Minecraft. But before I explain that, I want to first bring your attention to the theory surrounding the blank skin lurking in the background of videos. The closest possible explanations people have drawn are missing or corrupt skin data. In early multiplayer, if the game failed to fetch a skin from Minecraft.net, the player would appear to be the default Steve skin, and on rare occasions, a blank skin due to transparency issues, meaning that these were real players, but just mistaken for something that wasn't there. But that still doesn't explain the Cop 4 Terminator and Zombie Killer story, which brings us to the second theory: lighting and shadow glitches. Sometimes mobs and player data could appear dark if the lighting data broke, which was actually really common back in the day because Minecraft coding wasn't the best and it was still running off old hardware, which of course wasn't the best, and in some instances turned the mobs completely dark, which was likely a hardware malfunction, which could have simply just been a zombie or another mob that looked alike, that looked like a blank player from afar. So what about the other glitches? Can they be explained, like the death messages and the signs? In older versions of Minecraft, signs didn't always save their MBT data, which is essentially an item's data, which meant that if a sign's text field was left empty, or simply failed to load and corrupted, like from when a player would downgrade versions that also came with chunk glitches, the signs would be replaced with null. Okay, but that doesn't explain the death messages though. Well, that was a bit more complicated and still technically follows the story of Null, because when you died to something in Minecraft that the game simply just didn't understand, it used the same null placeholder as it did on signs. However, this still meant that you could technically be killed by nothing, or as people named, null. The truth is, it's just a series of bugs and glitches mixed into one myth that technically existed while also not existing at the same time, with Along Came Josh being the main catalyst that sent this myth into motion. And that is the story of Null.